Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your number one stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
No matter how unprofessional you want to think us eating is, I honestly don't care, because I think it adds to our charm and it makes us more, I guess, relatable to the common crowd. It's so good, bro. Look at that.
I'm still eating, but it was pulled pork, sliced up potatoes with salt and olive oil and broccoli. Like, you take the potatoes and you put them in the oven. You said it's like 400, leave it in there for 20 minutes. They basically become like healthy potato chips.
Yeah.
I actually, what's funny? I was talking to a guy in the range today. And I don't know why you're laughing. I've lost like 10 to 12 pounds since this time last year.
Really?
Yep.
You've lost weight but gained muscle.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's impressive.
Like, if someone saw me without my shirt on, I look like much more defined than I was.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I was talking to the guy. I was like, all right, I got to go home and make dinner. And he was like, oh, what are you making? I was like, oh, blah, 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 this. I was like, I eat pretty healthy. I was like, yeah, I lost like 10 to 12 pounds since this time last year. He's like, wait, really? And I was like, yeah. So, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I think I've lost. Started my fitness journey I started in February, so it's been about 9 months now. I've lost 34 pounds.
Good for you.
And I've gained back 28 pounds of muscle.
Good for you.
To the point that I can now get my 7-iron to about 175, 180, which I feel really confident about.
That is hilarious. That's such a lie.
Right now. Now, like 175-ish.
What?
175 is about like, if I stripe it, that's how it's going.
That's hilarious, because my 7-iron only goes 190 yards.
I mean, that isn't like incredibly like far-fetched to hit your 7-iron 170.
Okay.
But
most tour players said it's about 185. They're 7-iron.
It's funny because I'm getting to the point where like I measure my weight loss, muscle growth in the way I play golf. Like I went to Top Golf yesterday with Johnny, and granted, like the golf balls are simply not good. No, but I was hitting 3-wood and like easily hitting like back netting every time, which is about like 235, I think. Like easy.
You go to Top Golf and you hit other clubs, not just the driver.
Yeah. Well, because no, so I went with Johnny, his girlfriend. I went with Kay, and then one of his coworkers who, I think he spent his first year professionally this year playing like in New York, and just like playing around the area in New England. What
was his name?
Dion, Dion.
That doesn't help me a whole lot. What's his
I don't know his last name, to be honest with you. Start with a Z. But anyhow, so I'm playing with them, and we're doing like the target practice. So like aiming it to each target. So yes, I was playing I was playing iron shots. But yeah, but like I don't know, like if I can hit the back net at 230-ish easily with one of those shitty golf balls, and I'm hitting it like really well. I think my biggest strength in golf nowadays is that I've really kind of gotten my swing down pat, and now I'm not like I rarely ever shank the ball. I'll chunk it like a handful of times, but at least when I do chunk it, I'm not doing it nearly as bad as I used to like a couple of years ago, and I rarely top it anymore, which is nice.
He's figured it out. Yeah,
Like
3 months ago he shot 98.
Look, you and I both know that the entirety of the reason why I shoot like that is because my approach game is putrid.
Well, not just your approach game, your alignment.
Yes, your
short
like
game. Good. We got to work on your fun. We got to work on your fundies. That's what we got to work on. Your fundies.
But the swing is down. That's what matters the most to me, at least, because now I can. But think about it. If I have a good swing, now if I could figure out those fundamentals like my alignment and I can get more GIRs, then all of a sudden I'm getting more opportunity to not have to fucking lose back 3 strokes trying to chip it on.
You want to know something?
Talk to me.
If you're misaligned, you have to make a bad golf swing to get the ball back online.
I know.
Okay, so just I hope that
I completely understand what you're saying. I'm saying, but now that I have a good swing, I can work on the alignment and I can get those bad shots. Really a good shot, but I'm misaligned and I'm going wide left or wide right. I can get on the green. That's the key. Anyhow, the food is done. Let's get into the show.
Sports Underground Sports Philadelphia is brought to you by our awesome merch partners, PHI Apparel Company, with their unique and awesome designs for all, from Philly sports teams to Underground Sports Philadelphia exclusive merch. There's no doubt in our minds you'll stand out in the crowd. From Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, Union, and like I mentioned, Underground Sports Philadelphia, PHI Apparel Company's got you covered to stand out at Lincoln Financial Field, at the ballpark at Citizens Bank Park, at the Wells Fargo Center for Sixers, Flyers, Wings, at Subaru Park, at the bar, hanging out with your friends and family, no matter what it may be. PHI Apparel Company's got you covered with the best unique designs in the merch game for your favorite Philly sports fans. Most comfortable shirts, most comfortable hoodies in the game. Go to phiapparel.co so you can stand out in the crowd. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders. It's the most effective and direct way to support our podcasts. If you want to support us, rep our merch, get the word out there, rep PHI Apparel Company. And when you get your merch, tag us on the socials. We'll repost it so we know where you're rocking your PHI Apparel Company merch from. That's phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders.
Eric Van Rooyen takes home the win at the Worldwide Technologies. The TGL is kicking off in January with more news, and the PGA Tour is seeking more, or has narrowed down to 5 new possible investors. But we lead off the day here on the Getting the Hole podcast. Stephen McAvoy, Ben Pirro, brought to you by our friends PHI Apparel Co. Use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your order. While the Philadelphia Phillies may have missed out on the playoffs, don't miss out on your chance to get your gear for the Sixers, the Flyers, and the Philadelphia Eagles as they try and take home the NFC East title, which should not be very hard after their beatdown of Dallas yesterday. Ben, we lead the day off. The Kirkland Driver has arrived.
Oh, gosh.
The Kirkland Driver has found its way on the USGA's conformity list after months and months of speculation that Kirkland was going to upgrade from their golf balls, wedges, and their putter, which looks a lot like the Scotty Cameron Newport. And they were going to introduce a driver and iron combo. I sent you the photos of the driver. Looks like eerily similar to what's like the newer TSI models for Titleist. How's your boot?
It's a pain in the butt. We'll talk about that after the Kirkland thing.
Absolutely. Would you ever, like, in a world where all of the big time club manufacturers just like basically went extinct, and all that were left was like Kirkland golf clubs and Top Flight, would you game Kirkland?
I haven't played any of their stuff. I think I might have hit a ball just for shits and gigs one time. People are like, oh, it's a 4-piece golf ball. It's like, that's great. I could make a 4-piece golf ball in my garage. Like, I remember my dad was like, oh, like maybe you should look into the Kirklands. This is like when I was in high school or college. I was like, you're like joking, right? You're actually joking, right? If it was my only option, yeah, I guess I'd have to, because I'd have to continue playing somehow, or I just use the clubs I have right now until they all break, and then I'd figure.
I will say the balls do, like, when you open the cores up, they do look just like the Titleist Pro V1s, and obviously when they first came out, the whole like they got sued by Titleist for copyright of the trade or trademark infringement of the actual like layering of the golf ball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the Kirkland golf ball, when it was first released, they got a cease and desist letter from Titleist saying like, oh, like you stole like our design for the Pro V1. And like people ran models and like the Kirkland ball almost operates as good as the Pro V. The second iteration came out and like it had the same like specs as a Pro V1X, same kind of spin rate, same everything for the most part, but the distance was like 20 yards shorter, and it was like pretty noticeable. And I think like every iteration they've tried to like get it closer and closer back to the Pro V1 without it reaching the point where Titleist is going to sue them again. So the golf balls are basically, they're probably the best budget ball that you can get, because when you look at like at all the golf balls out there, obviously a 12 pack of Pro V1s probably cost you like $55. The Kirklands are like 24. I think it's 24 for 24 balls. So like you're getting basically $1 a ball, which is a great value on what typically is $3 a ball for Titleist. Right. And if you've ever seen the Titleist putter, it looks exactly like a Scotty Cameron. The wedges. So actually, fun fact: my mom got me the wedges when I was first getting into golf, and I gamed them for a little bit. They were the weight in the head. It was almost too heavy. Like I felt like I was coming down way too hard on the ball, and the bounce wasn't nearly like what I wanted. So I wound up just kind of scrapping them. But for $100 for 3 wedges, a pretty good value. I'm looking forward though to seeing how this driver plays out. I know that like my Golf Spy always does a lot of these like test runs. Rick Schills will probably wind up doing one at some point. But I like, if the Kirkland driver is effective and the price point is probably going to be like $180. So it's kind of a steal for a driver when you look at the market right now for drivers. Obviously, like the Stealths are like $700, the Paradigms are $700. For $180, you can get like a pre-built PXG, maybe. I know they have a really low price point for some of their models, and really like Kirkland's the only one that you can get that isn't like. I think even I went to the PGA Superstore and like a Tour's Edge or a Tour Edge driver was still like $230.
Yeah.
So if you can get a high quality style Kirkland driver and it's comparable, then I would probably consider gaming it. At the end of the day, Kirkland, if you don't know this, is they within the private label, they hire a bunch of companies to build their products. So like Kirkland batteries are created by Duracell. Their diapers are made by Huggies. Like their K-Cups are made by Starbucks. So they have big time brands that they're signed up with that they're selling a private label club. Maybe they are partnered with a Titleist or partnered with a Callaway or a Strixon or whatever it may be that might be designing this club. So maybe that info will come out, but I would consider gaming it if I at least want to get my hands on it if I have the chance. It seems pretty cool.
I mean, I'd only game it if there was no option. That's what I would do.
Do you think, because no one's sponsored by Kirkland yet, do you think any PGA Tour golfer would ever consider getting sponsored by Kirkland?
No.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious.
I've seen some weird brands, but like Kirkland,
trust me, so have I.
Kirkland signature polos, the pullovers, that'd be fucking hilarious. Anyways, getting into the real information of the week, Erik van Rooyen, despite having the best mustache game, I guess you could say, on the PGA Tour, also put up probably the best 9-hole finish I think I may have ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen someone birdie out the entirety of the back 9 or front 9. Erik van Rooyen goes 8 under in his last 9 holes, 6 birdies and an eagle to claim victory at the Worldwide Technology at Cabo. It's an amazing performance. Though you probably described it the best, saying like the definition of like running the table. Yeah. Like he literally ran the table. I think he was tied for 8th or tied for 9th going into the final day. He was down 4 or 5 strokes and just had a phenomenal final round 63 to claim victory here. Just a really, really great performance from EVR. And then on top of that, you had mentioned the story behind his victory, has a friend who's currently in critical condition. He's dying of, I don't totally know what it is. Did you say it was cancer?
I believe it is cancer.
Yeah. So really emotional story. Go watch his post-round interview after he had won. He said that every shot was for him. A really emotional moment. I saw a little bit of it on Twitter afterwards, but a really emotional win for EVR. But the story I want to talk about, it in addition to Eric Van Rooyen's big win, is in events like these in the fall, particularly when it used to be at Mayakoba in years past. Obviously, Victor Hovland's won there twice. Russell Henley's won there last year. The young crowd of golfers that are coming in and coming up are really kind of taking the forefront in these events. Nico Echeverria was one of the guys that I was eyeing on this past week. Of course, we talked about Cameron Young and Ludwig Oberg. On top of that, Justin Suh, who I actually found out middle of the week, he doesn't qualify for the Rookie of the Year this year because he played too many sponsor-exempt events. I think the number is like 6. So he took part in 6 events over the prior year. So he's ineligible for the Rookie of the Year award. As well, Akshay Bhatia, who I believe might still be in the running for it because he only had, I think he had his third start was his first win, so he was able to. I think he might still qualify. But those 4 came up just short. All finished top 10. I want to ask you this because these are the 4 guys who, going forward, amongst the guys who are all under the. I think Cameron Young might be like 25, but at least for Suh, Oberg, and Bhatia, under the age of like 24, 23 years old. Which of them, and I feel like the answer is pretty obvious with either Oberg or Bhatia, do you think that someone that looked like Justin Suh can outperform them at some juncture, being that he has a extra year under his belt? He finished last year, I think or at least this current season, I think he had 10 top 30s, which is the most of any rookie. I'll call him a rookie in the last decade on tour.
I do think he has the ability to outplay those guys that you just mentioned. I'm a little bit confused, I guess, why people don't talk about him more.
Right?
Maybe,
yeah.
Like, I think because a lot of his success has just kind of come under the radar in a way. Like, he's had very good finishes. He's very consistent, but he hasn't had like a wow finish, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think, I don't think he had the hype of a Ludwig Oberg. I don't think he has the hype of a Cameron Young. But he has displayed time and time again in his short amount of time in the PGA Tour that A, he's there to stay, B, he's incredibly talented, and C, he can compete with anybody, and people should believe the hype that this kid has. Actually, there should be more hype than he's getting, and I think that's fair to say. He's a special talent, and I think that I could definitely see him. I think it would be so cool to have like Oberg and Suh like duking it out in the back 9 on a Sunday. Like, how sick would that be? Like the young gun, these new young guys, they're coming up, like the Tom Kims too, like like that kind of like class and that age range of player. I think that would be so cool. I definitely do think and the kid's obviously got a lot of game for sure. So yeah.
You know what it is? Like we talk constantly about how in the modern game of golf, the parity is so expansive.
Yes.
And it's more than just, let's just say, the top 40 golfers in the world or at any given event are live to win. But you have the, let's say, top 30 players that everyone can basically rattle off, even those who might not even be in peak form. Like Ricky Fowler, even despite not having a great past few years, this year, after his first win, was live to win. He was ranked 60th in the world. So you look at that group that everyone knows, and then you tack on Tom Kim, Suh, Oberg, Bhatia. The list kind of goes on. Even like a Nico Echeverria, who's just coming up and is like 22 years old. you can get a really strong cast of characters and it's only going to get better over time too. You got to realize that we have guys who are currently on the, I think Gordon Sargent from Vanderbilt just got his tour card. So he's now going to get into the fold come next year. The guy carries the ball 330 yards and he's fucking 20 years old. He's like, and you hear the ball come off the club, and I'll send you a video. It sounds like a fucking missile. Like, it's fucking scary to watch these guys play golf. There are guys now in college that are far better than anybody else that we've seen play the college game. And now with the current media scope and PGAU and the hype that they can get, it's only going to get even better. I think actually, it's funny. I was wrong. I thought he was actually I thought he was a lot younger. He's actually 26 years old. He turned pro in 2018. He graduated from USC in 2022. He actually won the 2018 Eisenhower Trophy alongside Cole Hammer and Colin Morikawa. Now, Cole Hammer is now coming up on the Korn Ferry Tour, another guy from Texas who's well known and has plenty of hype. But Justin Suh, the problem with him was it took him a couple of years post-college to kind of get his bearings and finally make his way onto the tour in 2023, which I think is the big reason why he's not as hyped. Coming out of USC, he was a incredibly talented player. I just think the Korn Ferry Tour was a lot for him early on, and it took him, again, 3 or 4 years to get his bearings and get underneath himself to finally make his way here. But again, he finished last year 81st in the FedEx Cup. He's 70th right now in the fall stint. He's 64th in the OWGR. He had 4 top 10s. He had 10 top 30s. He had 2 top 5s. Like a really impressive run for him. In 59 events, he has 37 made cuts. Yeah, which is pretty damn good for someone so young on tour and is constantly getting top 30s, top 20s, and is performing at almost peak levels for somebody of his ability. So I think Suh can certainly make a splash. How much of it is going to be more than a Cameron Young or a Ludwig or even an Akshay Bhatia, who amongst the list here, crazy enough, Bhatia is the only one that has a PGA Tour win. Who knows? But still waiting to see Cameron Young and Ludwig get their first win. And I think I'm still convinced it'll happen at some point in this fall swing. Has to happen at some point. And for all we know, when it does happen, they'll just absolutely explode. A stat that I saw this week at the event, Adam Long went 56 for 56, a perfect 100% fairways in reg. I got to ask you, because this guy's pounding the ball about 280 yards, not a very long driver of the ball, but he's extremely accurate, albeit incredibly wide fairways at a resort-style golf course. Do you think ever in your career with the way you play, you could accomplish that?
You're saying he hits a 280, right?
Yeah, he carries a 280.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, you better not be talking about me. I carry 307. No, there's no way. I hit it too far, honestly. That's just, I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I hit it. For those of you out there, the farther you hit it, the better chance offline it has to go. Oh, yeah. You know? So, no, there's no way. I mean, dude, like, I consider myself someone with my length to be very accurate. Like, I am a very accurate driver of the golf ball, especially for someone with my length. I'm not that accurate, though.
What do you average in terms of fairways and reg usually?
If we're looking at like 14, probably like 8.5.
All right, that isn't bad. Yeah, I mean, like
9, 8.5, 9.
That's actually pretty damn good. I think like even like John Rahm only averages about half, maybe even a little bit less.
The thing is, like, ideally you want to be 10 out of 14. That's 72%, I think. So, but when I was talking to Bender, when I was talking to Mike Bender about it, he was like, he was like, dude, with your length, he's like, you give me 8, we're good. 8 and no penalties, we're good. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to see driving accuracy on the PGA Tour. I want to see, like, who has the like rough tendencies, good drive percentage. I guess that's a measurement of accuracy. Carry distance, apex spin rate, efficiency. God, can I, like, find this freaking number here? Oh God, hold on 1 second. Here, driving accuracy percentage. Yeah, so like in terms of the PGA Tour standards, like Russell Henley leads the tour, and he goes 71%, 71.7. Ryan Armour is at 70.1. Satoshi Kodara is at 70.4. Ryan Moore 69.9. Nice. Aaron Rice 68.72. Like not a lot of guys are even getting to that 72% number.
Right.
So in reality, I mean that's pretty damn good for the overall standards. And again, a lot of these guys who are really high up here do not hit the ball incredibly far.
No.
With the exception of Colin Morikawa and Tom Kim, who are 7th and 8th at like 67, 68%, no one else is really hitting it a country mile. So, yeah, thank you for the insight. If you ever watched Bryson DeChambeau hit a golf ball, he spends more time in the woods than anybody else I've ever seen. So
I remember. Do you remember the thing I sent you on Instagram where he said to you, like someone in the crowd said something and he's like, just shut the fuck up.
My favorite thing ever was there was a meme. I don't know if you remember. It might have been actually the 2020 Masters when he said his par was a 67.
Yeah,
and it might have been because I think he started on 10. It was the par. Was the par 5 in any event corner?
No. You don't start on the back 9 at Augusta.
No, they started. No, they split. That was the only year they'd ever done it.
Oh,
because it was in November.
Oh,
so I think it was his like second hole, which was on 12, and he hit it into the brush, and you see the meme, and it's like the like when the whatever it was, it was a meme, and it was him poking his head out of the bushes. And it's just like him staring blankly into the camera, like, what the fuck's going on? Because he has no idea where his ball is. He's trying to find it. I think it's so funny watching him play golf because, again, he spends when Jim Nantz said, I think he had like his 8th errant tee shot during a major, and he goes, "Oh, back to Narnia goes DeChambeau," and I literally fucking died on my couch. I was like, "No fucking way!" He just said that. Proceeding on, a little bit news before we had to break. Big story of the day that I really want to kind of dig into the weeds here. So the PIF merger and the PGA Tour, according to a spokesman, has gone literally nowhere. And the reasoning why is for a lot of reasons that you can understand. And there's a few like building blocks to this that I want to go over. Number one, apparently the inclusion of these private equity funds, it is not just the PIF who wants to get involved. They want to be able to get a private equity company involved in order to try and avoid antitrust suits in the future. So if they can get more backers, they'll essentially be able to claim that they aren't a monopoly and they aren't keeping the money all for themselves, nor are they only involving the Saudi Arabians, in which case is obviously the whole issue there. On that end, that's a whole different topic of discussion. So that's why they aren't moving. As of right now, there are 5 bidders that have emerged. They all want long-term relationships, investments in the PGA Tour. I'll tell you them now. Only 2 of which have any sort of relation to sports in their history. The Liberty Strategic Capital, which is actually led by Steve Munchin, you might know that name. He was the Secretary of the Treasury under President Trump. Acorn Growth Companies, they're an Oklahoma-based group whose portfolio largely spans industrial, airline, and military technology. No idea why they want to get involved in golf. Eldridge Industries, which is led by Ted Boley. Ted Boley is the owner of Chelsea Football Club in England. He's a part owner of the Dodgers, and he's a major backer on the board of directors for Vivid Seats. There's Fenway Sports Group. You probably know who they are. They own the TGL team, Boston Common Golf. They're also the parent company of the Penguins, the Red Sox, Liverpool. It's owned by John Henry. He's the primary owner of the Red Sox and Liverpool particularly. And this venture with Fenway Sports is also co-backed, not particularly by the companies they represent, but just the individuals. Arthur Blank, who is the owner of the Falcons and Atlanta United.
Mike Bender is given. I met Arthur Blank at Mike's academy. He took a couple lessons. Nice guy.
Yeah, I hear he's a nice guy. I had a friend who went to a Falcons game. She was covering it for her football team, and she was invited to his suite. Like a really just genuine guy.
Really nice guy.
And then the second co-backer of Family Sports Group is none other than Steve Cohen.
Ha!
Steve Cohen wants to get his pockets in fucking everything, from a TGL team to the New York Mets. God almighty, if they don't sign that fucking Japanese pitcher, I'm gonna fucking go nuts. Kidding me? So yeah, and then finally there's a mystery group that's involved in this as well. They're called Friends of Golf, and the only thing we know about them is that according to Golf Digest and Front Office Sports, they are quote unquote a handful of financial titans and Wall Street veterans who love and support the game of golf. So you're telling me it's basically a bunch of 70-year-old men who have made all the fucking money in the world and just want to golf for free on the PGA Tour's dime, essentially, is what I'm hearing. Which, I mean, I get it. It makes sense. The PGA Tour Board is meeting on November 12th, which is occurring in just a few days on Sunday, and they'll be going over the groups that are involved. I find this interesting because the whole thing we're trying to get this private equity group is that obviously they're burning through money at a historic rate, and they've basically openly told us, particularly when they met with government a couple months ago, they were kind of going broke, and they're trying to find a way to get as much money as they can. And if this PIF is not going to go through because the antitrust suit is still in play, and it's going to be that way for months and months and months, possibly even years to come, they got to find a new at least temporary, or long-term relationship to figure out how to maintain this money. And this is simply where they're going to. I think it's really interesting that they're getting groups that aren't even really integrated into sports at all, and it seems a little bit suspicious to a degree. But at the end of the day, I think it's a interesting key. On top of that, a PGA Tour spokesman has said that with LIV qualifying events coming up in the next few weeks, no qualifying event on the LIV Tour is unauthorized by the PGA Tour, which means that any player who wants to partake can go. A complete 180 of where we were 12 months ago.
Man,
when if
I didn't have this thing on my foot, I'd be going.
Honestly, you know what? Fuck it, do it. So it's crazy. I was looking at your Q School stuff, and I was just like going through the names that were on there. One of the guys who was taking part at your Q School event was Turk Pettit.
Okay.
Turk was the U.S. amateur, I believe. I'm pretty sure he is, or was in like 2021. He was on the LIV Tour for the first 4 events, immediately coming off the U.S. amateur. Totally didn't even disregard the PGA Tour, just went right in. He wound up getting relegated out, and now he's playing in Q School events, trying to get back on tour. It's fascinating how this is all changing, because we talked last week about like qualifying points and how the OWGR is starting to lose credibility, and how we're going to be able to find guys to get onto major championship rosters or close out events. Even though the PIF and the PGA Tour might not necessarily merge anytime soon, and LIV will exist codependently to the PGA Tour, they'll just coexist together. The fact that the PGA Tour is now allowing LIV guys to kind of flip-flop back and forth and let PGA Tour players take part in the LIV qualifying events if they get on, I guess if they go, do they then get suspended? Like, I don't understand where this mixture is. And then on top of that, all the guys that got out of LIV are now in Q School. All the guys who were amateurs and not big-time players post-college career and went straight to LIV are now trying to make their way back onto the Korn Ferry Tour. I don't understand this divide here and why we're still debating all this stuff when it seems like they are just simply going to be one entity and LIV's just going to act as another tour. Like, do you have thoughts on that?
Not really.
But it seems weird.
I think the whole thing's so fucked up.
Don't shit on Jay Monahan more than I already know you want to, because I think we've done it a lot.
Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about him until you just said his name. He was the furthest thing from my mind.
I mean, he is the top dog in all of this. Like how he goes from,
I know, which is really messed up. Like
why are we allowing this when for the last 12 months they were never allowed to even step foot on a PGA Tour event?
Are we sure that Turk Pettit, well, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Are we sure that he was actually on Live?
Yeah.
Are we sure? We're sure he was at my qualifying site?
He was.
Okay.
Turk Pettit, what did he do? Sorry, I don't think he was the no, he was not the US Amateur. He was the reigning 2021 Division 1 champion singles from Clemson. That's what happened. And then immediately following that, went to Live, and yes, he was at your qualifying site. I think he actually might have qualified.
I don't know what to think anymore, man. I don't know.
It's just crazy to me how all this shit goes down.
It's a lot to keep up with. That's the big. That's my main takeaway. This is just a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's confusing, and everyone's hypocritical, and I honestly I don't think anybody in the media or anybody close to the PGA Tour is asking the kind of questions that we need answered.
No.
Nor do I think anybody in positions of power even want to really give the answers. I think it's a real problem because we're getting into a point where they're going to essentially just coexist, and eventually, for all we know, just because you are on Live, you could come back to the PGA Tour like a Brooks Koepka is going to be welcomed back with open arms, which wouldn't be surprised about in the slightest, considering he played the Ryder Cup. And 6 months ago, we were talking about how there's no way a Live guy is going to be on the Ryder Cup team because they left.
right?
That's not allowed. Something's up, and someone's got to start asking the big questions and start actually putting out real answers for us, because something's wrong at this point.
I think we knew something was wrong. that there was something wrong for sure.
But we'll have to see what comes of it in the near future. But until then, we'll keep on trying to analyze this as we go. But for now, we'll wait for more info. We're gonna take a short break. On the other side, we will go over the upcoming PGA Tour event down in Bermuda, the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. We'll discuss who we like, and we'll give you our picks on Beer Money. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is Get in the Hole. We'll be right back. Welcome back in. It's Get in the Hole here with Ben and Steve. We've upgraded from the chicken sandwich and we've gotten on to the protein shake. So now it's time to wind the day out.
I just had Haagen-Dazs ice cream and I'm on my second ginger ale. Just going to hell with myself.
But you are doing, but you are benching in the boot. So that's so you're at least getting in some sort of workout.
Yeah, you know, this thing is so damn heavy right now. Oh my god!
Tell us all about your journey early on now with your boot.
Oh my god, it sucks. Oh man. So basically,
I'm gonna send you a video of me putting with this thing on. I can't even.
You were putting with it,
dude. I can't even stand normal, because okay. So here's the deal. I know I told you and KB over text. So I went and saw my doctor slash surgeon.
Yeah.
And so we looked at the MRI images, and we didn't think anything was torn, but she had me get it looked at just in case. She had me get the MRI just in case. Well, when I went to Q school, we didn't, I guess they sent the report over, but they didn't send the images. Yeah. And I had the images on a disc. And so I go to my appointment this past Thursday, and she's looking at the images, and she goes, your lateral ligament's completely torn. And she just said it so casually. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, my lateral ligament's torn? And she goes, yes. And I was like, can you please show me a picture of what you're looking at right now so I know like what you're talking about? And she goes, okay, see right here. You have like, see right here, you have like these two bones. There's supposed to be this like, see, she's like, there's supposed to be a black line right there. That's your lateral, that would be your lateral ligament. Well, instead of being across this way, you see the black line goes like this. She's like, so it's completely torn. And she's like, all this white stuff in between the bones, that's fluid. That's why you're all swollen. And I was like, oh, so how do we fix it then? and she goes, well, it reattaches. It's going to reattach. And I said, okay. She's like, she's like,
when?
Yeah, she's like, so you're not going to need surgery, which I'm still not convinced that I'm not going to need surgery. I was like, okay. She's like, but we're going to have to immobilize you for 3 to 4 weeks. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, so you have to wear the boot. Like, I was like, okay. Like, she's like, technically you're not even supposed to drive. I was thinking to myself, yeah, like that's going to happen. Like I have to get places. Like how else? I live by myself.
Well, it's your right foot?
Yeah, it's my right foot.
Oh, God.
Really fucked up. Like I literally have to take it off. I have to take the boot off whenever I drive.
Oh, God. Really? Does it hurt?
A little bit. Like it hurts right now. It's in the boot. Like,
oh, yeah.
But she was like, I was like, can I work out? Like do upper body? She's like, yeah, as long as it's like seated. So all the upper body stuff I do is like seated. Like, I was like, can I putt? She goes, yeah, you can putt. Dude, putting, the boot shifts my weight like forward towards the ball. So like, I literally am like, because I'm wearing my boot while I putt, I have the toe up. Like my right toes are up in the air. So like my weight can somewhat, like my weight distribution's all fucked up now when I'm putting.
Well, hold on. So because of the boot, your foot's also on like a platform almost. So you're kind of like off centered, right? Too.
It's not that bad because I have a golf shoe on my left foot.
Okay.
But still, yeah, it's like, and do like the indentation this thing makes in the green from hitting putt after putt after putt is like kind of funny, and I feel kind of bad, but I also like care at this point. Like
Jesus
dude,
Christ.
Like today I was doing drills. So like I have like a board that I use from like the plane of my stroke. Then I hit putts on the ruler with the board. I have the string for my eye line. So I do 30 putts with my left hand, 30 putts with my right, 40 putts with both hands. So that's 100 putts. Then I do a gate drill where I start the ball on line through the gate, to do 50 putts there. And then I have a putting laser that I use for like alignment purposes. But to line it up, you got to get like, like like you bend down to read a putt.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to line this laser up. Well, in order for me to get down, I have to do basically what Brooks Koepka was doing at the Masters.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a lot harder than it looks.
Oh,
My
yeah.
left foot was killing me. I did 50 putts, by the way, like that. Like 50 different putts with the laser. Dude, it was brutal. I was there for 2 hours. I was sweating like a pig, and like my foot was killing me. And then of course people were like, "Why'd you play so bad in Houston?" I'm like, "Do you like not see what the fuck I'm wearing right now?" Like,
oh yeah,
like really? Hello? And they're like, "Why'd you finish double bogey double?" And I'm like, again, do you see what I'm wearing right now? Like I had COVID too. Like it doesn't, like that doesn't help. Like
yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun. So I've been icing it. I'm gonna lose all my leg gains. I've just come to the conclusion that I'm gonna lose all my lower body gains, and I'm gonna have chicken legs. And yeah, that's literally what I'm doing.
You look like a fucking ninja. That's so funny. I'm sorry. And I hate to laugh at someone's page.
I'm happy you think it's funny.
All right. I hate to be a dickhead, but You getting hurt the way you did. Well, sorry, I totally removed you. You getting hurt the way that you did is to a degree very funny because no, like you were already out the door and you were like, shit, forgot the belt. And then you go back up to then get hurt. There's something about it that,
and then I started to go back down, and that's how I got hurt. But
yeah, exactly, yeah. Like the fact that you were already out the door, and you're like, all right, yeah, this is great. Like it's the most New York Mets injury of all time.
I feel like Cespedes when he fell in the hole, getting chased by a wild boar. Like
and fucking Lucas Duda, who fucking dropped a couch on his foot and was out for 3 months.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He broke like every bone in the base of his foot. So he dropped the fucking couch arm on it.
It honestly,
when he was moving.
Honestly, like, and I know, like, I'm sure there are people when they ask me like what happened, and I tell them, I'm sure they look at me and they're like, "Oh, he was probably like drunk and he fell down the stairs." Like, no, I hate to break it to you guys. I had a Red Bull and I was on my way to the gym. Like, that's literally what was about to happen. Like, I was not drunk. I was not doing anything I wasn't supposed to be doing. It was a terrible accident. Like, honestly.
Terrible.
So, yeah, that's kind of the deal. I'm just icing a lot. I swear to God, though, like, if one more person asks me why I played so poorly, and they see me with the boot on, I might take the boot off and like hit the ball. I really might, because I'm just like
context clues.
What do you like? I don't understand. Like, what do people like? Do people just like think like, oh, you got hurt? You should still be able to shoot 65. Like, of course. Like
you should tell them that you played in the boot.
Honestly, I'm about to just tell people that. Like, people don't realize when an NFL wide receiver, by the way, I don't just have a torn lateral ligament. I still have a high ankle sprain as well. Okay? It's both.
Oh, it's Jesus Christ.
The surgeon goes, she's like, yeah, you have a lateral ligament tear, full tear.
You're a mess.
High grade ankle sprain.
You're an absolute mess.
And then you know what else she said? She goes, you're not going to be yourself for like 3 to 6 months. Like, I hope, like, I think it's hilarious that people like are sitting here and they question me, why didn't you play well? It's like, why do you think I didn't play well? I just told you what happened to me. Like, a week before I left.
At the very least, it isn't one of those things where it's like Baker Mayfield played the entire season, and then after the final week was like, oh yeah, I had a severely disjointed elbow, like throwing shoulder for the entirety of the year, and I played through this entire injury. Now I'm going to get surgery. Like, at the very least, and granted, different scenario, because like I don't know how athletes like hide their injuries, like how in hockey, like guys can like fucking break ribs and go out and play the next shift. Well, like, it's crazy to me how guys can do that.
Well, here's the thing, like, in the NFL, at least, and I assume it's probably the same for other sports. I could be wrong. Those guys, they have pain meds, like, at their disposal. Toradol. I forget who it was. I think it was Marcellus Wiley. He broke his foot, and he was a defensive end for the Buffalo Bills, I believe, in the 90s. Breaks his foot. He ended up having like 14 sacks and didn't practice once because they just shot him up with Toradol and the foot went numb. He couldn't feel a damn thing.
Yeah.
But now you see you see a wide receiver have an ankle sprain or a high ankle sprain. They don't play the next week.
Oh yeah. Well,
they never play the next week. The team's like, no, you're going to sit out. Because like this is actually like a very serious injury. Like,
fucking Saquon Barkley gets a high ankle sprain. He's out 7 weeks.
Exactly. Like, it's
he gets turf toe. He's out 5. Like, it's
like I sit there and I'm like, I get it. Like, I might look like Superman. I'm not. Like, I am very much a human being. Like, when I get hurt,
like it's gonna have
Yeah.
some serious repercussions on my game. Like it's
And
I think it's hilarious. I think some people are like so ignorant. I probably sound like I'm venting, and that's because I was, because I am, because people have been pissing me off.
but you know what though? Like at the end of the day, and I think what's really important too is like I would much rather have an upper body injury of any sort than have a lower body injury. To have the ability to like struggle to walk to me is a horrifying reality. And like I really do sympathize with like of course there are people who are missing limbs. Like
Yeah.
to miss a lower extremity, in my opinion, is 10 times harder than losing an upper. Because to lack the ability to literally walk on my own or be bound to a wheelchair or like you're saying, as something as simple as like I now can't drive, or like to challenge the drive. Like you try and get hurt to a degree where you need to like be out for a certain amount of time and you like basically lose functionality of a body part. It fucking sucks.
It's dude, like I went to the gym. It was my first day back at the gym, or it might have been my second. But I ran into a guy who I know. He's older, really really nice guy. Even he's a Mets fan, but he's also a Bills fan. So I like him still. But anyway,
Fun.
he's like, dude, like what? Because he saw me. He was like, oh my god, like what happened? I told him what happened, and he looked at me and he goes, because there's an elevator that you can also take to get up to the gym. And he was like, good for you for taking the stairs. Like he was serious. Like, and dude, I'm like I'm like holding on to the railing, like 1, 2,
for dear life.
like, and then going down the stairs, forget it. That's like even harder for me right now. Like, dude, with this thing on, it's terrible. And I'm trying to think. Oh gosh, something. What did he say? Oh no, I saw like I hate cardio, and anybody who knows me knows I hate cardio. I would still do it. Like before the injury, I was biking 5 miles a day. That was my warm up, and I saw this dude running, and I fucking hate running, and I was like, I wish I could fucking run right now. Like you know.
Oh yeah, and like something even like, and again, it's different because mine was upper body, but back in college, talk about dumb fucking injuries. So I'm holding one of those like glass like Starbucks bottles, and on campus, like my school was like very like brick and mortar, and then like the staircases in the dining hall they had like rock slabs almost, like it was very like ski lodgy kind of feel. Okay. So I'm walking up the stairs and I'm wearing slides, and my slide caught underneath one of the rock parts.
Oh.
And I fucking fall forward up the stairs. Glass bottles in my hand, smashes. And you probably can't even see it, but like the webbing of my fingers all got fucking destroyed. Like you could see it like right there. The webbing inside, in and like through in each finger was basically gone, to the point that I basically didn't have a left hand for, I think it was like 4 weeks. Because it was 2 weeks wrapped up with the stitches, and then 2 weeks off where I had to do like minimal movement, and like couldn't even like touch my fingers. I'm trying to play video games, impossible to do. Like something I shouldn't say on air. What like can't do that. So like yeah, try learning things. Try learning to do things with your offhand. It's fucking hard.
Wait, you're a lefty?
I'm ambidextrous. I can technically use both. I write with my right hand, but I like throw and shoot with my left, and I happen to do that as well on my left.
Oh my god, great.
So like trying to learn that with your right hand is very hard.
You know, I have a buddy of mine, and
this is back-to-back weeks you told him something.
I know,
fucking gross on it.
I have a buddy of mine.
We're terrible people.
And he broke his right. He's a righty. He broke his right arm.
Okay.
One summer, like completely broke in a cast. And so he said he taught himself had to jerk off with his left hand. So then when it was all said and done, he could do it with both.
Dude. No, I would never attempt it again with the right. Although it's a fun change of pace because it's like a new experience. But yeah, I'm not doing it again. Anyhow, speaking of injuries and road to recovery, so this past week, Tiger's golf course in Cabo, we saw him playing a little bit. He played. He didn't actually play in the event or anything, but he warmed up a little bit. Saw him on the range. People were really like, hey, when are you going to come back and play? He said, oh, I'm going to consider playing the Hero World Challenge. Hasn't committed yet, but is expected to commit to the PNC alongside his son, Charlie, who, by the way, is now fucking striping at 250. Kid's a stud. And he looks so old now in the matter of a year and a half. Went from a little nothing. I think he's 13 or 14 now. He's a big kid. And it's weird how much he looks like dad. With Tiger's recovery, are you confident in any way, shape, or form that he might try the majors this upcoming year? I don't know if you saw the videos of him swinging.
Was he hitting on the range?
Yes.
At the tournament?
Yeah.
Were other guys on the range?
I'm not sure.
Regardless, he should not. I understand he designed the course and everything. He should not be on the range. If you're not playing, I know it's Tiger Woods, but if you're not playing, get off the range.
I mean, it might have been off hours.
It doesn't matter.
Or practice rounds, whatever it was.
It doesn't. That doesn't matter though. That's for the players only, in my opinion. Anyway, I'd be dude, sorry, you had your 20 something years of fame. Get off the range.
Come on, he's God. He's God in the eyes of the PGA Tour. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
deal with it, Ben. It's Tiger's world. You're living in it.
Yeah, well, whatever. That's gonna change. So
it's Ben's world, and you're living in it.
Yeah, when I get out there, when I get on the PGA Tour, it's gonna be my fucking world. Oh no.
Ben Pirro sets record 83rd career win. Can't wait for it.
Oh my god.
Maybe at that point I'll be on the bag for you.
At this point, I'm having open tryouts for my caddy, so anybody, it's fair game at this point.
I tell good jokes.
Great. You have to do better than that. Anyway, I got to be honest, dude. I really hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't play any. I think he needs to just be done.
Yeah.
I think the thing is the fact that Joe LaCava is not on the bag anymore, and that Tiger gave him the blessing to. Who does he caddy for now?
I think it's Patrick Cantlay, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right. The fact that he's on Patrick Cantlay's back now, and Tiger was willing to give him his blessing to go caddy for someone else.
Yeah,
it just shows. I think that Tiger knows it's over. And
yeah,
I think I will forever. It's hard. It's when you win, it's really hard. It's hard to quit or retire after you win because you're I can still do it, and you're at the highest of highs, which is when you won the 2015 Masters. 2019 Masters. That'll forever be the greatest Masters I've ever witnessed to this day. Mm-hmm. If I were him, I would have retired then, because I believe you should quit or stop when you're on top, and because that's the last memory that people will have of you. Right now, the last memory I have of Tiger is of him withdrawing it from the Masters, playing like crap, cold, injured, and not competitive.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. I guess that's a different discussion. Should he have should he have retired in 2019 after the Masters or whatever? But I believe that I just don't think he can do it anymore. And I don't want to get into reasons why I don't think he can do it anymore. But clearly his body cannot hold up. And I think he knows that, which is why Joe LaCava's on someone else's bag now,
Yeah.
So, and I don't mean to be that guy. I'm a Tiger fan. I think everybody knows, like, that's who any of our loyal followers and listeners. I am a Tiger fan. You know, regardless of his past transgressions and the mistakes that he's made, which he's made a ton, you know, and they've all been very embarrassing and public, and, you know, that's hard to deal with, you know. I'm as big of a Tiger fan as there can be, but I just do not believe he has the ability to handle the rigors of playing competitive golf consistently.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's getting to a point where he has to really, and also I think also we're at a breaking point in his career in terms of, do you go after that world leading victory and be the lone man top of the totem pole, or do you shift your focus onto the bigger and better things and the more important things, which I think fall under the PGA Tour front offices? And I think that's kind of where he belongs. He should be a policymaker. He should be somebody who's on the front lines as a player relations guy. He should be the head of the tour relations board, the head of the players union, whatever it happens to be. That you need to stay in the game, but not necessarily play. And if it means, look, you know what, he goes out and he's like Larry Mize, and he goes out on Augusta and plays 2 rounds, does it shits and gigs, doesn't take it seriously at all, then so be it.
That's one thing, you know.
Yeah, like it's one thing when you know you're over the hill and you're not fighting to try and make the cut anymore. And even Bernard Langer said it when he made the cut at the Masters a few years ago. He was like, I've done this so many times. I've won 30 some odd times at that point on the Champions Tour. I didn't need to make the cut. And honestly, he was like, I got to spend 2 more days here. I could very well just be walking around the grounds myself, doing whatever with family instead of playing for the next 2 days. No. I think that's honestly the way it should be. No, and yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think I'm not saying like Tiger should stop playing competitive golf. That's
no, of course.
What he's saying. I just think he needs to be real with himself and be like, yeah, I'm not going to win again, you know? Yeah. And I really think that's fair to say. Like, I thought it was insane after like his whole personal life fell apart in 2009 with all his affairs and everything. People were like, will we ever see him play again? Will he ever win another golf tournament? It's like, of course he's going to fucking play again. Of course he's going to win again. He's not going to forget how to play golf. Yeah. You know, he just had some things he had to work on, you know, personally and mentally and all that stuff. I think like if he was like, you know what, I'm just going to play the 4 majors every year. And Charlie, when he's old enough, he's going to caddy for me every year at the Masters.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's like the perfect send-off.
Yeah, and that's all he needs.
Have your son in the bag for the week, 2 to 4 days, whatever, the practice rounds, whatever. Charlie gets that experience with his dad. I think that would be great. I really do. Because, like, and I get what you're saying about, like, Larry Mize and everything. Tiger Woods and Larry Mize. I mean, like,
comparatively, very different guys. But
the listeners, like, they're 2 completely different caliber of golfers in their heyday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but because the thing is with Tiger, there are still going to be people, if he plays this year at Augusta, like,
that follows him.
He could win. Like, oh my gosh, he could win. He could win. What? Larry Mize at 40, however old Tiger is now, like at that age, like no one ever thought, oh yeah, Larry Mize is gonna win. Yeah, right. You know, like,
bro, Tiger Woods at his first Masters back had better betting odds than I'm pretty sure Ricky Fowler.
Yeah,
like put the consideration that the guy almost lost his legs.
Yeah,
and had better betting odds than half of the guys on the lower end of the field. Like I would put him in with the amateurs at that point, with how poor his condition was. Like, so
I remember, I think Tiger finished, I don't remember what year this was, but I do remember he finished like tied for 12th at the Honda Classic. And his odds to win the Masters after that tied for 12th just skyrocketed.
Yeah, like come on, like give me a break. Like,
I'm like, the dude didn't even finish top 10, and like he has like the 5th best odds to win at Augusta. Like, come on, stop.
because people will bet on it. Because thank you, because Vegas goes, thanks for the donation. We'll take your money.
Oh, for
You're
sure.
never getting it back. Yeah,
I
that's
know.
all it is.
I just like, I will forever say, and I know we have to move on.
Yeah.
Last thing, the 2019 Masters win. That was the comeback. Okay, that was the comeback. It wasn't him winning 3 times in 2012 and 5 times in 2013. Like, that was the comeback. It's the greatest comeback I've ever seen in the history of sports. And I don't care. Like, I'm not saying that because I'm a golfer too. That is the greatest comeback I've ever witnessed in my life, and probably will be the greatest comeback I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah.
But the glory days it's over, you know. And I don't like being that guy. As I always say, I'd love for him to prove me wrong. I love it when people prove me wrong when I say stuff like this. Go for it.
Yeah.
I just, you know.
Speaking of betting odds,
Let's get
right into it. PGA Tour goes to Bermuda this week, the Butterfield Bermuda at Port Royal. And let's just get on into it. Beer money time, folks, brought to you by our friends Kenwood Beer, your one-stop shop for not only really good beer, but really good apparel. Golfing and beer finds its collision point at Kenwood Beer, kenwoodbeer.com. Find them on the Candy Tracker, now selling in the great, or so-called great state of New Jersey. Kenwoodbeer.com. Go check them out. We lead off with a top 20 at Bermuda. Who is taking it home?
Man, I was just looking at some of these odds right now, like to win, and like Ted Potter.
Ted Potter. Names I haven't heard for 1,000, please, Alex.
100,000. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, all right, so you said top 20. I'm gonna go.
There are some names I've never even heard of.
Oh my gosh,
on this betting list. I love it.
For sure. I'm going to go Sam Bennett, top 20. We haven't talked about Sam in a while. He's a very, very talented golfer, obviously. Played very well at Augusta last year. My computer's about to die, so bear with me. Sam Bennett, top 20.
All right, top 20 for me. This is a fun one. So, again, a lot of names are on this list that you probably have not heard of in a very long time. There's also a lot of guys here that I think you can get really good value at some wild numbers. I'm going to go with Kelly Craft for a top 20 to win the event. He's 140 to 1. So to give you a reference point, he's about plus 500 for a top 20. I'll go Kelly Craft for a top 20. Top 10.
Top 10. I'm going to go with Luke List. Top 10 for Luke List. That's a pretty solid. That's a pretty solid pick.
Top 10 for me, Adam Scott. Really easy. This event really comes down to a putting contest, and while Adam Scott's the number one guy on the betting board, he simply is not a good enough putter at this stage in his career anymore to log.
Oh, come on, he never was. Let's be honest.
You're right. Yes, he never was. But equally, though, like, you can ball strike your way to wins, and Adam Scott can most certainly do it. His putting has been atrocious over the last 3 years. It's been the worst ever been in his career. I'm not in on Adam Scott. That's at 1,700 number is awful. I hate this, and I will also fade him this week to even come close to winning. If you take him any more than a top 10, we got a problem. Top 5.
You're gonna fucking hate me. I'm going Adam Scott.
Fuck you,
dude. According to BetMGM, he has the best odds to win. No, for you.
Yeah. Honestly, not a really good leave in my opinion.
Dude, I got Adam Scott going. I got top 5 for sure. Top 5.
Okay. Top 5 this week. and I've bet this guy probably 3 times in my life. I took him as a late flyer at the Masters in 2020. I bet him at like the Barbasol, and I bet him here actually at Bermuda to win. And it was, I think it was the year after he had actually won the event. I think he won here in, he won the maiden event in 2019 here in Bermuda. I'm going to go Brendan Todd. He hits it so straight, doesn't hit it far. Putting contest at this golf course. He ranks number 5 in the field this week in strokes gained putting. What kind of grass are we playing with here in Bermuda? Bermuda grass. 5th on tour this year in putting on Bermuda grass. I like Brendan Todd for a top 5, who's won here in the past. Here, give me a pick this week.
Man, this is a tough one. Like, I want to pick someone that's just like so not like in the realm of just thought for this event, just to be that guy.
I have 3 names that are all out of the range of thought for this event, so don't worry.
You know what? I'm going to go Camilo Villegas to finish top 30. He finished, I believe, tied for 2nd this past week.
Yes.
I think it was tied for 2nd. Putting has not really been his strong suit from what I remember. I don't know his stats that well at all. What I do remember about him, great ball striker, not a great putter. And it's going to be a putting contest, so that's why I'm saying Camilo Villegas for top 30. And great guy, by the way. Really, like, just good human being.
I'm really upset because I really wanted to take Cheston Hadley this week because he played really well last week. But unfortunately, he is not. I think he is a late scratch from this event. He might have withdrawn early. So unfortunately, I'm off the train on him. I have 3 fun names that are all going to finish top 40 this week, and you can parlay them all together. I'm going to go former winner Brian Gay, Jason Duffner, and Mark Hubbard. Top 40, the trio of wonder this week. Hubbard, Duffner, and Gay going for a top 40. That's what I got. Who is winning in Bermuda?
Who is winning in Bermuda? According to me, we're going to go with Akshay Bhatia.
I'm with you.
No way, really?
I'm with you.
Oh, let's go.
Look, I'm not going to shit on anybody in this field because let's be honest, if I was to play here, I would play like absolute dog shit. When you look at the top like 5 guys that are currently like rated here, first of all, I thought Thomas Dietrich went to LIVGolf.
I don't know.
Is he back all of a sudden?
Oh, here we go again. I don't know. We need to make
fuckers. Give me some explanation, PGA Tour. God damn it.
I think he went to LIV, bro.
I'm pretty sure he went to LIV. I swear to God, I thought.
Obviously, he didn't.
Thomas Dietrich played on. He went to LIV, but didn't play. Sorry, no, wrong guy. I'm thinking of Thomas Peters. Okay, sorry.
You dipshit.
Apologies. Yes, no, I'm joining you on Akshay. When you look at like at all the guys at the top, again, you want to talk value like middle of the pack. I don't like Adam Scott. I don't love Brendan Todd. I think Todd's probably the best guy of the group because his putter's good. Dietrich's too erratic. Lucas Glover had a 2-week bender and that was it. Lucas Herbert's underrated and pretty good, and Ben Griffin has a win over the last month. But otherwise, like Taylor Pendrith, Alex Smalley, Doug Gim, Ryan Palmer, Nick Hardy, Davis Riley. I'm just not intrigued by any of these names whatsoever. So at this point, like, might as well go with the guy who's actually the young gun who can put up a really low number every single week, who hits the country mile, hits it straight, and puts it really well. So I love Akshay with you as well. I think that's a home run bet. Those are our picks this week. Final thoughts, Ben, before we go.
The Jets suck. They're down 14-0 in the first quarter. Of course. Wait, how many turnovers do they have? Let's see.
The Chargers first.
Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson both lost fumbles. What the fuck?
The Charge. Wait, do you want to hear? Do you know how the Chargers scored?
No.
Their first score of the game was an 87-yard punt return touchdown.
So much for that great special teams last week against the Giants.
Hey, Thomas Morstead won the MVP of that game.
That's just how freaking anemic. Is that a word? Anemic?
Yes, anemic.
Did I use it right?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So there have been 3 fumbles in the game, 2 from the Jets, one from the actually, hold on, wait. One fumble from the Chargers, 2 from the Jets, all recovered by the Chargers. Unfortunate. I have no final thoughts, but I want to just say thank you so much for tuning in this week. Episode 127 of the Get in the Hole podcast for the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Another great show, another great chatter, all things about the world of golf. Follow, like, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get this show and your favorite shows on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Network. Follow us on social media, Get in the Hole Pod across Twitter and Instagram, posting on TikTok, getting you live updates and getting you more immersed in the sport every single day on tour. For Ben Pirro, I'm Stephen McAvoy. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the golf this week. We'll see you next time. Ben, you have something else?
If we get 100 more subscribers, if we get 100 more subscribers in the next month, Steven will play a round of golf shirtless.
I never agreed to this.
I don't care. I think it's great. I'll join you. How's that sound?
All right, so Fat Perez goes out with the fucking with the swole guy. Fuck. It's December almost.
Dude, come down here. Well, actually, I can't even play right now.
All right, you know what? Here, I will make a deal with all of our listeners. All right, whatever the number is right now, and we'll get the number from KB. If we get 100 more subscribers of the current number that we have right now from this current day, in a month, 100 subscribers, I have a very hairy chest. Oh, I will shave an image of Tiger Woods, his face, or any golfer that the people want onto my chest.
Can you just shave like an image of like a penis or something?
No.
Please come on, it would be so funny.
No. Well, why would I do that?
Because it would just be so funny.
Or you know what? Here, if we get 100 subs to Underground Sports starting today through 30 days from now, we'll give away a putter. There you go. That's the. I'm definitively saying it right now. I actually won a putter in a contest that I am ready to give away, and I will give it away if we get 100 subs. That's the answer. Take it easy, folks. Enjoy the golf. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at Underground PHI. We'll see you next time. And remember, get in the hole!